Good offseason, as we just showed you.
Teamed with Michael Perez, who's in camp as a non-roster invitee. He was backup catcher last year to Jacob Stallings. He hopes to back up Roberto Perez this year. And we're underway. Under sunny skies, Robbie Grossman, one-time Pirate minor leaguer. Put up a good year last season with Detroit. Pops this one away up there, and Michael Perez, Ke'Bryan Hayes calls him off. One down.
Well, nicely done. I always wonder when you're doing new things in the offseason, whether you're a hitter or pitcher, trying to translate that into the season, it's always different.
Anthony Alford, Brian Reynolds, Ben Gamble in the outfield, left to right. O'Neill Cruz teams up with Ke'Bryan Hayes on the left side of the infield. Yoshi Tsutsugo signed as a free agent this winter by the Pirates to come back. And there's a ground ball that's into center field. A roller, Riley Green, the 21-year-old, singles into center field.
Yeah, just a jam shot. Just a good fastball from Mitch. Just a little grounder that was perfectly placed. Nobody was there. But, yeah, when pitchers will work on things in the winter, hitters will work on some things. I guess the best way to describe it is if you golf, you go to the driving range and everything feels pretty good at the driving range. And, I got it. And then you go got out on the course, and it's not the same. It just isn't. And so when you're facing the best competition in the world, what you work on, you hope can translate into the games. But, nice to see 97.
Yeah.
Good location. Free and easy. Now, that's one thing, I guess, so far. You see how free and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Fred, where Mitch said at times he felt maybe tight, not as loose as he'd like in the past.
And this breaking ball misses to Javier Baez. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mitch Keller, 5.11, 6.17 ERA. Last year, and facing Javier Baez, who was traded to the Mets last season from the Cubs. Always those aggressive cuts. I don't know the Pirates fans or the Pirates themselves will miss seeing Javi Baez. Well, Pirates and Tigers meet in the series again this year, but he's out of the Central. Dangerous hitter.
Sure is. I mean, I won't miss him.
Oh, lays off that breaking pitch. 2-2.
The curveball for Mitch Keller. He's been working on a slider the last couple of years, a pitch that he's used a lot. That curveball was the big pitch for him as he was coming up through the minor leagues.
Yeah. And that wild pitch gets Riley Green to second. Not a good one there from Keller.
Yeah, held on to that one too long.
Well, the Tigers in business here with 1 out. 3-2 pitch and a ground ball right to short. O'Neill Cruz going to throw to third to get the lead man.
Yep, not very good base running there by Riley Green. Ball's right in front of you. Got to know where that shortstop is.
And you should know where he is. He's big enough.
Oh, yeah, hard to miss. But first of all, I like Mitch Keller right there being aggressive. There were so many times we'd see a 3-2 breaking ball, but coming right at Javi Baez with the 3-2 heat. Got the ground ball routine, nicely done. Smooth looking play by Cruz, flipping to Hayes.
97 at the knees. Jonathan Scope takes the strike. We'll be talking live with Andy Haynes, the new hitting coach for the Pirates. But we'll also later in the game talk to Gary Green, who's been a longtime infield instructor in the Pirates organization. Ask him about what he has seen of Oneil Cruz. And there we see Cruz, all 6, 7 of them, make a couple of plays, and nicely done. And Mitch Keller. Ke'Bryan Hayes going to lead things off for the Pirates at the bottom of the first. Starting 9 for the Pirates. Vogelbach will be the DH. Ke'Bryan Hayes, limited to 96 games last year. Time on the injured list, but he said he is healthy and feels good. First pitch, a swing and a miss. Casey Mize on the hill.
Casey Mize, former #1 pick, first overall out of Auburn back in 18. Had a nice year last year.
One and two on Ke'Bryan Hayes, .257 hitter last year in 96 games after that bust-out rookie campaign. 2 and 2, hit .376, his first taste of the big leagues. But, again, limited to 96 games last year. And he's caught looking. Mize doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, does he?
No, a nice little breaking ball there. Kind of amazing when you got a guy, first overall, you'd expect big arm, big strikeout numbers. Is left that breaking ball, caught a good bit of the plate, fooled Ke'Bryan, but made 30 starts, 150 innings, just 118 strikeouts.
Wow.
You'd expect, I guess average is about 1 per inning. That's well below that.
Now Bryan Reynolds, his first at bat of the spring. What a year in 2021 for Bryan Reynolds. Marty Foster is the home plate umpire, and on the bases, Vic Carapazza, Sean Barber, Adam Beck.
I work in live in St. Pete. I'm just here for spring training.
Broken bat, gonna drop in there. Bryan Reynolds, who hit .302 last year, was a starter in the All-Star game. Fun to watch.
Yep, it never seems to take him long either. He just can flat out hit. Got tied up maybe a little bit. Didn't absolutely barrel it up. Wasn't crushed, but still has that smooth stroke.
Ben Gamel figures to get a lot of playing time last year. He was a nice addition after he was let go by the Cleveland Indians. Cut his hair. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. He said maybe he'll let it grow. But boy, it felt good to get out of the shower, not have to worry about it.
I bet.
The long locks.
I bet. I wonder how long it would take him. You got to.
Yeah.
You don't have to take at least another a year or two.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. Two balls, 1 strike. 95 from Mize. Gamel hit .255 last year. 8 home runs. Jacksonville, Florida native. And that is a foul ball just off the tip of Torkelson's glove. It's past Tarek Brock.
Ben, he went all the way down to first, and it was kind of looking at the first base umpire as if maybe he thought it was fair.
So it's 2-2 on Ben Gamble. Just gets a piece. Check swing.
It's always so just bizarre that first time you get into the batter's box. You know, you've
First
worked,
spring at bat.
Yeah, you've worked out. You may have seen some live pitching in the backfields, but just to get that timing back, it's just so difficult. Maybe not for some, but for most, it's just weird.
We'll ask Andy Haynes about how many at-bats these guys will need this spring in his mind. Just less than 3 weeks before you open up the regular season.
Yeah, and so, you would think we saw yesterday's game. Guys were getting basically 3 at-bats. I'm sure we'll see that early on, and the guys we'll probably see guys playing more often. There won't be every other day like you see typically early in spring. I'm sure there'll be days off, but these guys, you'd probably think they'd need 40, 50 at-bats.
Oh, fly ball to right field. Was caught in right. The right fielder, Green.
But you'll take that at bat.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for Ben, first couple of pitches, timing wasn't quite there, a little bit late. But what you want to feel is that barrel of the bat getting out front, making contact. Now, he didn't get the barrel on it, but he got the bat head out. But just got in on the label a little bit. But probably feels pretty good.
Is there any reason, John, in spring, early on, to almost be less aggressive, to just see more pitches?
Yeah, it would help, for sure. It could help slow down. You get up there, and it always helps if a pitcher is not in the zone the first few pitches, because then that gets you even more comfortable.
Yeah.
You get into a 2-0 count or a 3-1 count, you can kind of sell out for a fastball.
Well, we didn't know if we'd see Yoshi Tsutsugo wearing the black and gold this year. He was a nice pickup. The Pirates played in 43 games, struggled the outset with Tampa Bay. They let him go. The Dodgers picked him up, seemed to find things in their minor league system. And he became a quick fan favorite. And the Pirates re-signed him as a free agent after the season. Ball and 2 strikes on him. 1-year deal to bring him back. Hit .440 with runners in scoring position overall with the Pirates in 43 games, a .268 average.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get off to that kind of start that he did last year as a Pirate. You got to love that power. Gives you a good at-bat. Nice job wasting that last offering. It was down and away from him. But you love the instant offense. And obviously, when you're hitting the middle lineup, you want to see that average like it was with runners in scoring position.
And there's a liner, but at least for this year, they'll be able to station the man out in shallow right. Next year, things might change in terms of the shifting. After 1, 0-0. Start the home schedule. A couple of afternoon games against the Cubs, then the Washington Nationals in for 4. Well, Mitch Keller faces Spencer Torkelson. 97 up and in. 3 different levels of the minor leagues last year. Torkelson tore it up. 30 homers, 91 RBIs. The top overall pick 2 years ago at Arizona State. Just 22 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That was pretty impressive. He took a little off of that curveball. 80 miles per hour.
Oh, 97. Strikes out Torkelson.
And I don't know if you remember this, but I remember the first inning that Mitch Keller threw down here in spring training as a minor leaguer
for his debut as a
yes, and just a spring training game, and it just was aggressive, and it was attacking, and it was, just a fastball that he was getting by a couple of guys. And the one thing we always heard about him as he came through the ranks from scouts, how athletic. He's so athletic. And I don't know, he looks just so much freer and easier, and just
starting to see the athleticism play, as they say.
It just looks so natural. The pace is good. You don't see that there's thinking. You just see he's grabbing the ball, looking and letting it go, and it's coming out of his hand. It's jumping out of his hand. Everything seems to be in sync.
Weak ground ball to Cruz. Nice easy hop. And easy out.
At 98.
Well, it's spring training, but boy, it's great to see his debut in 2022, his first game. Good to see this from Keller. And Oneil Cruz, fun to watch him play shortstop. As we mentioned, we'll talk a little bit later on to Gary Green about the infield play throughout the organization. Gary Green will be the bench coach for the Indianapolis Indians this season. Here's Daz Cameron, and strike one on a former first-round pick of the Astros 7 years ago. Came to the Tigers in the Justin Verlander deal. Two outs, second inning.
Man, it just looks so much different. It just looks so easy and effortless, and it's just coming out of his hand. I mean, there were starts we saw 90, 91, 92. Other days we'd see 94, 95. Varying results. Some inconsistencies. Oh!
Keller got it good. Let's see where it got him. Well, as he is
well, you hope it hit muscle.
Yeah.
And not
fingers crossed. There, Sophie, Val, Logan, Quinn, Kenzie, all in a row there. Sophie Steele, Jason Steele's wife, his two children, Logan and Quinn, their friend Val, and their daughter Kenzie here at the ballpark. And Jason Steele is our executive stage manager down here in Bradenton. He's got the family here, and they're having some fun now. Not as much fun watching Mitch Keller leave the field, and here's Cam View going to try and get this last out.
7 wins in the minors last year with an ERA 5.28. Back and forth, 13 starts, 12 relief appearances. About a strikeout per inning, 72 and 73 and a third.
Cam View, a minor league player over from Pirate City. These opportunities that these minor league players get to finish out innings, or oftentimes maybe the last couple.
Yeah, and the heart got to be racing a little bit, you'd think. I mean, he's down there just kicking back, thinking, I got a day off, go over to Lecom, watch a game, maybe get in later innings.
Did Michigan State hold on last night, by the way? Do you know?
I do not.
He's a Michigan State product. They did. Pirates Luxury Suites. Talk about that as Cam Busey's going to need a few more pitches here. Pirates Luxury Suites, perfect for celebrating a special occasion or entertaining a VIP client. PNC Park's Luxury Suites offer a true home field advantage. Book your suite online today at pirates.com/suites. It's pirates.com/suites. Cam Buse said he'll need just maybe one more. 6th round pick, 2016, Cam View. Our view is from the Steve Blass, we now call it the broadcast booth. And he's going to join us, by the way, in the 5th inning.
Mr. Blass is here.
Surprise appearance.
Wow.
Yeah. Notice when he has a good day at the golf course, he shows up.
Yep.
Yeah. Didn't
Yep.
see him for a while, now bang.
Just like that.
77 at Bradenton Country Club.
Yep. Now, I mean, at 85 to shoot 77.
Oh, come on, stop.
Pretty good.
Stop. Dustin Garneau takes strike one.
That's something we'll never have to worry about. We will never, ever shoot below our age, ever.
No, that's a fact. Ball to strike now on Garneau. Traded from the Colorado Rockies last August. They picked up Tucker Barnhart, the Tigers did, after the season from the Reds. I guess that was the beginning. We should have figured that the Reds were going to start cutting some payroll, right?
Yeah, kind of assumed that would happen.
It's going to be a different looking Reds club. Joey Votto's still there. Two balls and a strike.
Guessing that's a changeup. Kind of acts like a changeup.
Two outs. Daz Cameron lines one off. Looks like the back of Mitch Keller's leg. Pop up. Hayes. Going to give way to somebody. Looks over at Cruz, and Cruz looks at him, and Cruz makes the catch. Always an adventure here in Bradenton, those pop-ups. Final out. Head to the bottom of the 2nd.
Colors are black and gold. And he said before the ball game, he said he feels like he's back to where everything got started and got going for him in high school. He's got his father Dan, his uncle Brett, his brother Josh, and about 9 family members, including some of his boys. He said that number would be north of 15 or 20 had not been for a baby shower, Greg and Rock, that has taken place down at Fort Myers. So Daniel Vogelback, for the first time in his big league career, having spring training in Florida. Remember, he's always been with Milwaukee and Seattle, and they all had their spring trainings in Arizona. So just a quick, short hour-and-a-half drive for the Vogelback family to come here and watch him play for the first time.
Part of the crew there, Robbie. Vogelback out of the University of Florida.
I know when he was in the lineup with the Brewers, he was a guy you feared.
Yeah.
Because he has some big-time pop, a pretty short swing, actually. And every swing, he has the potential of putting the ball in the seats.
Fun to watch these two left-handed hitting first baseman / DHs. Vogelback, who always sees a lot of pitches, too. All the power. He's got a good eye. Always a good walk rate. A couple of fun guys to watch this year, Vogelback and Yoshi Tsutsugo.
No doubt. And, yeah, you'd love to have that power presence. There's that short
Just
swing.
talked about it.
Man, there's
man. That thing, look at that thing bounce off that netting.
It is. It's a compact swing, man. He gets that bat head out there. Like, it's just so short and quick. Boom!
Vogelback family likes it. Friends. And draws the walk.
Yeah, that'll make you go back outside. You try to get one inside, and he turns it around at 110 miles per hour. As a hitter, you might as well look out there because they're not going to double up in there very often.
Vogelback aboard. Tarek Rock, first base coach. And now Anthony Alford. Anthony Alford on the 40-man roster. Gets another opportunity. He was the starting center fielder last year when the Pirates broke camp. Opening day. Starting center fielder in Chicago against the Cubs. Got off to a terrible start. Was eventually designated for assignment third week of April. Nobody picked him up. Came back to the Pirates. Back down to the minors. AAA Indy. Seemed to figure some things out and had a much better second half with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you got to see the talent. He has the power, the speed, and I want to say it was a Cubs series at Wrigley last year to where, ball out of the ballpark, infield hit, stolen bases.
It was like a 5-tool game there, wasn't it?
Yeah, you saw all the talents that makes everybody like him. A guy that you think if there's more contact, there's more balls in play, there's exciting things that are going to happen.
Oh, wow. He got Mize got a couple of nice calls there from Marty Foster.
That's a pretty good breaking ball. Great location, and Anthony was able to pick up the rotation, lay off, thinking it's going to break off the plate and maybe down. And according to Marty Foster, right on the knees on that outside corner.
Second strikeout for Casey Mize, both caught looking. Now O'Neill Cruz. This time it's called a ball in. O'Neill Cruz, 68 minor league games last year. Hit .310 with 17 homers. Of course, got the call up last couple games of the season. His first big league home run. 6'7", 23 years old.
118 miles per hour.
Hardest hit ball the Pirates all year, and taps this one back to Mize. Gonna throw and get the lead man. 2 outs. Vogelback is erased on the bases, so Cruz on now with 2 outs. Gary Green there in the middle. Gray warm up. We're talking to him a little bit later on. Top of the third, we'll be joined by the new hitting coach, Andy Haynes. Rodolfo Castro showed off some tools when he had his opportunities last year with the Pirates. Ended up playing in 31 major league games, switch hitter. Made his first big league start against these Tigers in Detroit in April. Keeping Cruz close.
It's pretty funny watching his lead. He's so long. It feels like he can get an extra 5 feet and just fall over.
Yeah.
Did you notice Allen yesterday?
Yeah.
He leads at first base.
Yes. That was impressive. Greg Allen, who only had a stolen base, hit a 2-run homer. Wind helped, but nonetheless, Pirates beat the Yankees.
Say this about Mize. He does a good job of putting the ball where he wants to. That fastball, low mid 90s. Looks like mostly four seam.
There goes O'Neill Cruz, and Castro strikes out to end the bottom of the second. Talk to Andy Haynes coming up.
I think the reality is we just tried to make the most use of our time, that we had, and I think we did that in a different way. It was kind of a role reversal from the fact that usually when you get a job, you're calling the players, you have so much dialogue, then you're able to dig in and kind of study those players, and this year was kind of in reverse. We as a group, they were able to kind of speed up the process. I could study those players. We had so much information for them, and then I get to listen to the players. So it happened a little bit in reverse, but yeah, I mean, we all know it's an incredibly difficult job. I think that's well known, but the game itself is very difficult. So it kind of goes hand in hand.
David Bednar is now on for the Pirates. We're talking to Andy Haynes, new hitting coach for the Pirates. Rock and I were just talking, Andy, about the number of at-bats you think your guys will need, or how many you think you'll get. Good breaking ball there from your vantage point before the season begins.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we spend a lot of time on that. We kind of start at the end date, work backwards to now, and, everything's just fluid because you can earmark the amount of bats, but really, health-wise, we have to err on the side of caution early, and it's not really at bats, it's more running the bases. So that will depend on how their games go as far as, are they running the bases at a really high level too much too soon? How much action do they have on defense? So Shelty and DK put so much thought into that. And to answer your question here, I don't think there's an exact number because you can't box yourself in of how you get there.
Is there enough time to get working? You have 35 position players here, 35 hitters that you're working with. And unlike most spring trainings, you don't have the complex. You have two fields. Is there enough fields? There obviously a lot of cage work, but they get enough work in coming into these games?
They are. I mean, we have, a lot of people helping do it. I joke that, it's the one way I'm going to be able to lose some weight before the season starts. We don't eat. I mean, we don't stop. So because of the volume of players. But it's been great. And, everybody's trying to be creative with space and how we get these guys to work. And, it's not an option for guys being in Major League Spring Training and feel like they get shortchanged. And I love our staff for that. We're going to do whatever it takes to make sure they get the work they need.
I'm guessing now with all the technology, video, so the non-roster guys, minor league guys, the guys you haven't seen at the big league level, you probably have video that you got to watch before coming down?
We do. We have, our internal system we have and the wealth of information. And like I said, it's their story. I mean, we have every piece that we could imagine. I mean, it's incredible, the wealth of information. So not only video, but from strength and conditioning now to, the upstairs guys to all the guys that help here. We have a pretty good idea of our guys.
Is there an Andy Haynes philosophy on hitting?
No. I mean, I hope that never happens because, I have things certainly I believe in, but, I've said this as a coach. Your philosophy has to be what your guys need you to be. And guys have different things. I think, from a team standpoint, we certainly want an identity that we have relentless at bats. We don't take a pitch off. But you're trying to maximize everybody's best version of themselves, and that has to come from them. Can't come from me. So that's our job is to get everybody knowing we can get the best version of them. And then as a unit, I really do believe that we have to have a team identity. It's not golf. It's still a team sport, and it's like this coordinated attack, and it's why we all love being part of a team.
With you hear more and more about the off-season programs, and whether pitchers go to a pitching type of facility, hitters I'm sure do the same. and might hear something different from an outside instructor, and then they come into camp and I assume you guys work together with what they have worked on in the off season and kind of agree with what you want to do. Is there any? How does that work?
Yeah, no, that's been prevalent for a while. And I think early on when I first dealt with that quite a while ago, I think I learned that, you can't fault a player for just trying to improve themselves and, using every resource. So it's my job to communicate, with those outside resources and also have everything we can for them here. So that's going to make them seek outside help a little less, to be honest. But, they're not with us 12 months a year. So it's my job to have that relationship and dialogue and make sure that they know that the Pirates and our staff have the best, information and resources for them also.
What about analytics? Everybody wants to know how any hitting coach, how deep into it do you get, and how much do you want your hitters to get into it?
Yeah, for me, it's been a blessing because you never want to feel like it's your opinion or you have any type of guessing going on. So, in the analytics, I think when you relay it can be scary, but, I just use it's their story. It's not the front office's story. It's not mine. This information just tells your story, and we can work backwards from there of how we get to the best version of you. So I think sometimes it's a misnomer how it's worded. And you can get as deep in the weeds as you want. But the bottom line is you kind of have this North Star of who they are at their best, and all that information has to kind of guide them to that.
What about going from Miller Park to PNC Park?
Yeah, believe me, it's a beautiful setting. I tell people every time I go there, I go to home plate every time when I get there because I never want to take that view for granted. But the only thing, like in April, I wish we had a retractable roof. That's one thing that was, as a hitting coach, it's probably underrated as far as like the certainty of your day, knowing you can get work done on the field and things like that. But PNC Park, man, you can't beat that venue. We'll bear with the cold weather early, but certainly excited to get to Pittsburgh and be able to go there every day.
I noticed yesterday, I didn't see BP today. Yesterday, we had a pitching machine out and the thrower. And I've heard where, prior to Major League camp that there were some drills going on in minor league camp where you'd have, fastball, high velocity, and breaking ball and having guys read and adjust. Is that something you brought, or is that something that was here? But like I said, I've never seen like two different speeds like that during BP.
Yeah, we work as a group, and I have things that I've felt like I've seen be successful, and hopefully I can add to what these guys believe in. And that's been a little more publicized recently, but I think the game's evolved a lot in the last 5 or 6 years as far as how we do prepare for a game and practice and be able to offer our players different things. So it's been good. The players have been receptive to it, and hopefully making the games, they see the results.
Andy, thanks so much. Welcome to Pittsburgh. Great to have you with the Buccos.
Thanks, guys. Enjoyed it, man. See ya.